Imagine walking into a crowded bar late at night. Music is playing. People are laughing. Security cameras capture you entering the building. But hours later, when everyone else leaves, you are nowhere to be found. No footage of you leaving. No witnesses seeing you walk out. No trace of where you went. It sounds impossible. But in 2006, this is exactly what happened to Brian Shaffer. Brian Shaffer was a 27-year-old medical student living in Columbus, Ohio. He studied at Ohio State University. Friends described him as intelligent, friendly, and someone who loved music and nightlife. But Brian's life had recently been difficult. Just weeks before his disappearance, Brian's mother had died from cancer. People close to him said he was still grieving. However, Brian was trying to move forward. That night, he simply wanted to go out with friends and relax. On March 31st, 2006, Brian met his friend Clint Florence. The two decided to celebrate the start of spring break. Later that evening, they went to a popular bar called Ugly Tuna Saloona. The bar was located in the South Campus Gateway complex. Security cameras monitored the escalator entrance to the bar. At around 1:15 a.m., cameras clearly recorded Brian entering the bar. He was seen talking with two women near the entrance. Witnesses said he seemed relaxed and in a good mood. Nothing about the night seemed unusual. But something strange was about to happen. Around closing time, just before 2 a.m., the bar became crowded. Hundreds of people started leaving the building. Later, police reviewed every minute of the security footage. They saw Brian entering the bar earlier that night. They saw dozens of people leaving, but they never saw Brian walk out. Not once. Investigators watched the footage again and again. Yet Brian Shaffer simply never appeared leaving the building. It was as if he vanished inside. When Brian didn't return home, his friends grew worried. Soon his father contacted the police. Investigators searched the bar thoroughly. They checked restrooms, storage rooms, nearby construction areas. They even searched rooftops and alleyways. But they found nothing. No signs of a struggle. No personal belongings. No clues. One of the strangest parts of the case involved Brian's cell phone. For months after he disappeared, his phone went straight to voicemail. But then something strange happened. In September 2006, Brian's phone suddenly rang. His girlfriend, Alexis Wagoner, answered immediately. But when she picked up, no one spoke. There was only silence. After a few seconds, the call ended. Investigators tried to trace the signal, but they couldn't locate where the call came from. And the phone was never active again. Some investigators believe Brian may have left through a construction exit not visible on camera. At the time, part of the building was under construction. Workers sometimes used a back exit that wasn't monitored by security cameras. If Brian used that route, he could have left without being recorded. But that still doesn't explain what happened afterward, because no witnesses ever reported seeing him outside. Brian's friend Clint tried calling his phone many times after the disappearance. But something unusual happened. Brian's phone rang normally for Clint, yet for other people it went straight to voicemail. To this day, investigators have never fully explained why that happened. Nearly 20 years later, the disappearance of Brian Shaffer remains unsolved. No body has ever been found. No suspect has ever been identified. And investigators still cannot explain how someone could enter a bar filled with cameras and disappear without being seen leaving. For many people, it remains one of the most baffling missing person cases in American history. Somewhere in that crowded bar, someone may still remember something important about that night. Maybe someone saw Brian leave through a hidden exit. Maybe someone knows more than they have ever said. But until the truth is revealed, the mystery of Brian Shaffer will continue to haunt America. This is Dark Files USA, and some of America's darkest mysteries are still waiting to be uncovered.